Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel Codezilla. So today is day 5 of our level up series, and today, as if I have to give a brief about what we have done in past 4 days, first day was just an introductory video, second day was a problem solving, third day also we did problem solving, fourth day we made a project, fifth day now we again start off with the problem solving. So as I have told you in the beginning, in the starting of this series, we will be covering up some of the methodology or the terms which comes in coding, and we need to understand how those terms work, like palindrome, what is Fibonacci, what is factorial. So palindrome and Fibonacci we are already done with those terms. Now let's understand about the factorial, how it works, how to find it, and what it is actually. Although most of you might have knew about the factorial because it is used in mathematics a lot, but still it's my job to clear that to you. So now let's get started, and firstly let's see the problem statement only, like what is the problem statement. And because in these beginning videos I was telling about the recursion and all the concepts or these terminologies in depth, but what happens when we go to the next level or when we increase our level one by one, then I'm not going to make recursion tree and all those things from the beginning for this. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Uh, like if I am working on or if I'm showing something like recursion and all, that will be limited to these videos only. Right now I'm doing in CPP online compiler and then pasting it in any of these. Like today we'll be doing it in coding ninjas. So, what happens in the upcoming videos when we are doing some questions which are a bit of a higher level, then we will be directly doing it in these online, like we can say competitive compilers or competitive platforms, not in the CPP compiler, that online basic one, and then pasting it here and telling you how it is working. So for that, uh, that's all. Now let's get started and see the problem statement. Firstly, I will take the screenshot of it, yeah, of the problem statement which we have, and then yeah, and find out. Let's find out what is factorial actually. So if you are given an integer and you need to find the value of factorial of n, so we need to give the factorial as an answer. Factorial is what we have to return of n. The factorial of a number. So this is the definition, which is main definition of this uh, whole system. But what happens is it is given right now. But in the questions which are a bit of higher level, if we have a question in which we have to tell factorial in the linked list or something like that, any question. So in those questions, they will not be giving you that much definition about what is factorial. So at that time, you need to understand the basic ones. Okay, this is factorial, how to find it. So that's why I'm doing these questions in the beginning only. The factorial of a number n is defined as the product of all numbers from 1 to n. Okay, so if we have to find factorial of n, it's simple. You can understand from here we have to do one thing. If n is equals to 4, okay, as they have given example, the factorial of 4 will be product of all the numbers from 1 to 4. So it means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That's all. So that's how factorial is found. In the mathematical terms, you might have uh, got this term like 4 factorial, 6 factorial. So I think this is the term which you more relate with because it is done in mathematics. I knew that. So that's how we find the factorial. Now, if we have to multiply it off, it is 6 and 24 will be the answer. So we have to return 24 as an answer of this. Now think about or let's think about the solution which we can do for this in bit more in mathematical terms, like uh, how we not in the mathematical, in the coding, like how we will be structuring our code. Okay, so what we can observe from here is if we have the problem statement as to find 4 factorial, in that case, what is happening? We are just doing one thing like 4 into 4 minus 1, okay, into 4 minus 2 into 4 minus 3. Okay, so we are doing this only, and what is happening here is you can see one step is repeatedly happening. Earlier it was minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, so it will be eventually somehow like 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So from here we can get an idea. Like if a step is repeatedly happening, that might give us a glimpse of doing it with recursion. Why not? So that's what we will be implementing here is first of all, product of all numbers from 1 to that number n. So we got a limit. So limit will be, or we can say the range will be 1 to n. So n is the number which they will be giving us. So we can, so for the recursion, I have told you in the previous video also when we have discussed about recursion, the basic step is the base case. If we doesn't have a base case, then it will repeatedly happen again and again for infinite and program will not run. So base case will be I one here, okay. But what about the case of zero? So if I have to tell you factorial of zero is one, okay. So we can get sort of a base case if we have and for factorial of 1 also is equals to 0 and factorial of 0 also is equals to sorry, it is not factorial of 1 is not 0, it is 1 and 0 factorial is also 1. So we can sort of get a base case, okay. Base case will be with us in which our term we can say till our n reaches 1 or n reaches 0. Till then we can find out a base case. Done. Now next comes up our uh, main problem which we have to solve of uh, that is to recursively call it. But what we have to do is we have to subtract 1 from it. So every time you are saying that uh, earlier it was 4, then it comes 4 minus 1, and then it comes 4 minus 2, and then 4 minus 3. Okay, so what we can do is if we make a function, if we make a function recursion, recur is the name of function which takes int n as an input, which returns also int. Okay, if we have a base case done, which we have told, which we have discussed earlier only. Now, what is the thing or what is the element which make it a recursion? When we do a function call in this only of this recursion, so we have to do function call of this recursion, and what we have to do is we have to subtract n minus 1 so that in that base case it will be checked also. So if we do recursion and now we give n minus 1 instead of 1, so that in the first instance 4 will be going here, second instance because of this recursion 3 will be going, then 2 will be going, then 1 will be going, it will be reaching base case and then it will start returning off. So that's how the recursion of n minus 1. So basically, we got the intuition. This whole process, which I have told you, finding the base case and then finding the approach which we will be following, that is called as the intuition. So in the interviews also, they will be telling you and firstly tell me the intuition, which you will be implementing. Like intuition, we can say the approach, we can say in the simpler words. So they will interview will say you like tell me the intuition which you are thinking to implement behind this problem and then solve it. So we have solved the intuition, then we will going to solve this, and then we will be running the test cases or doing the dry run and all the process. So first of all, this is the question right now we are doing in Coding Ninja. So there are different platform. I have told you about this earlier only. So you will get points and also every platform have their different trackers. Same in the lead code, what we were doing question earlier. So that's how we will be doing. We will be doing in Geek for Geek also. You can see in the companies where it is asked. So um, that's how this question is. It is not that much difficult question, but still for the conceptual building or uh, just like the building block, it is like that only. Now, let's understand what is written here. But before that, as I have promised you, I will be doing it in online CPP compiler and then solving it or pasting it in the in that compiler, so that if you are switching from a normal IDE or a normal compiler in which you used to write code like this and then switching to an online competitive compiler, then you should know how to work out here. So firstly, let's include bits slash std plus plus dot h and using space std. Although in the compilers which you get there, you didn't need to import any of the libraries. These are already included there with the bit slash stdc. So you didn't need to import it there. Namespace std. These are also done. So you just need to write function. You will not get for sure the main function in most of them, but that's how it works. They have their systems working in a specific manner. You need to understand that system and answer accordingly. So firstly, we will be finding factorial. So in n and then taking c in n so that we will get the number as an input. Next comes up our function. So now let's make a function only int recur int and is what. So what is happening here is we have made a function which will take int as an input and return int as an output also. Okay, so we need to call it here. So we will be doing like c out of recur and okay, so whatever recur function will return us, we will be showcasing it there. Okay, as we have started making it, so firstly the base case, the most important structure or the pillar of a recursive function. So what I have told you, uh, what we need if our n reaches 1 or 0, and that case the factorial will be 1. So from there we will start returning and stopping up our recursive function. So it will be like n equals to 0 if n equals to 0 or if n is equals to 1. In both of the cases, we will be doing a return and what we will be returning is 1. So because the factorial of 0 or 1 is 1. So if I will search also factorial of 0. So factorial of 0 is 1, factorial of 1. Okay, it is also 1. So that's how it works. So in both of the cases, 0 and 1, we will be returning 1. So that's what happens is if you are for sure writing this program or if you have written this, seen only the description, it will be saying you from 1 to n. Okay, so you will be writing a base case which will be running from 1. Okay, which will be tackling the base case of 1 only. But if right now while we are doing this problem, you will get the idea. Okay, this problem statement also need to counter one more edge case, or we can say a base case, which is n equals to 0. So if you have prior knowledge, or if you have seen this video or solved this problem earlier, then you will able to know that factorial of 0 is also 1, and for factorial of 1 is also 1. So that's how it works, and that's why I am doing this problem. Next comes our recursive function. So for the recursion, we will be doing this n and we have to multiply. And what we have to multiply? So at the end, we have to multiply it with the n minus 1. But we have to do it recursively. So recur of n minus 1. Okay, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, then we will think about it later. Okay, it is working fine. So just a simple solution, like it is, there is nothing like we have to do something out of the box. And you might be thinking, okay, this is just a 3 4 line of code. I can cram it or I can do it with ChatGPT. But the most important part is, like you need to know the concepts because one by one, when we increase the level, then it will become difficult for those who just need to just. Or so now let's go to the dry run and see how this whole process is happening or how this whole function is working off. So firstly, this all, I think you have understood this part. This is, I can make it a simple part. This is the recursive part which we will be discussing. And now let's take the test case of 4 as an input. So this is the process, we call it as dry run, and I'm doing it here in front of you. So firstly, let's do the dry run. When our input is 4, and then what happens? If it passes the this base case, so I will write base. So it is not passing it. So it will going to go to the recursive function, and what will happen? It will be going to 4 into, and then this function call will call it again. So it will be recursive of 3, because n minus 1 is 3. Okay, so it will be going to recursive call. Now what will happen here is, again check for the base case. This base case is happening when n is 3. Here it is not happening. Here also it is not happening, because we didn't reach n is not equals to 0 or 3. So means what will happen here? 3 will stand here. Recursive will be doing for 2. Okay. Now again check for the this. Think about just these problems only, the smaller problems which we have. Recursive of 3, taking seeing the base case 0, is it equals to 0 or 1? No, it is not. So for 2 also we didn't reach the base case. So again a recursive call 2 will be here. Recursive call will be here, and 1 will be the term. Now again for 1, check for recursive of 1. So now what will happen is, now in actual it will be we reach the base case actually. As a recursive call reaches 1, we can see the base case which we have is 0 and 1. So it will start returning off. So here the return starts, 1 will be returned. So instead of this, you can write it as 1. So 1 into 2, you will get 2. Put it here. So instead of recur of 2, it have returned. So you will write 2. So 3 into 2, 6. You got 6. Instead of recur of 3, you will write 6. Uh, 6 into 4, 24. So 24 will be the answer. That's how it is happening. So that's how you can structure off your answer, and that's how the recursive calls are happening. Now let's get to the this online compiler, so that you can also add it in your profile also, or while making resume. Like, okay, I have done this much, or these much problems in coding ninjas or lead code or any specific platform. So what you are saying is, seeing here is void factorial. So it means we have to directly print out the factorial which we have. Okay, we didn't have to take input because input is already given by them. So we can just copy this. Okay, done. And paste it here. So C out of n, that is happening for sure. And then just copying this portion, going here, pasting it off, and just run it. Okay, wrong test case. So it is giving us incorrect for a specific term. So now we have to, I think, implement the long, long, and yeah. Now if we run this, okay, we are getting some test cases which is not working. And what all are those test cases? So for the smaller one, it is working fine, but for the bigger one, it is giving us some issues. Let's see if there is no problem out here. And equals to 1. So desired output, when we give this, this is the output which we are giving, and this is the output which they needed, I think so. Okay, factorial. Okay, so we have made the function correctly, I think so. And there is nothing like any edge case or something which we have to follow. Uh, Eventually, let's copy paste it. Okay, now let's run this. So all the problems which are done here is working fine. So for these, let's go for the ChatGPT. Why not search it and find the edge case, but return type is int. Okay, return type is int. Okay, if I go with and then run it. Yeah. So what is the issue? Yeah, these things need to be done. I wrote long there, but I didn't wrote long and this side. So from here you can see like I also use ChatGPT, but the reason of using it is a bit different. Asking it what is the edge case, not just directly going copy pasting your whole problem statement and getting the answer is not the actual way. So you can also follow this practice. No one will going to tell you like okay you are using ChatGPT, it is wrong. You have the tools, use it in a wiser way, so it will be helpful for you. So what I have did is, and what is the problem is, here everything which I was doing is in long. So I changed it to long and long and along with that, here also you can see it become long and long only. So it means if we have a number which is greater, then instead of writing just int, we have to write long and long. So that's how it is working.